The truth behind they open if you spend any time on YouTube or Facebook lately. You've probably seen the headline. 27 years later, they opened Princess Diana's tomb and got shocked. Maybe you clicked it. Maybe you scrolled past it for the 10th time, wondering if it was finally real. It isn't. There was no exhumation. No tomb was opened. No shocking discovery. What you're looking at is one of the most persistent AI-generated clickbait templates on the internet. And today, we're going to pull it apart piece by piece and talk about the real woman these videos are exploiting. What these videos actually are. Narrator. VO search almost any version of this phrase, and you'll find dozens of nearly identical videos. Different channels, different voiceovers, sometimes different photos, but the same structure every time. A breathless narrator, a dramatic pause before the reveal, and a payoff that's always vague. Something about a hidden letter, a secret room, or a message left for her sons. None of it is sourced. None of it links to a news outlet, a royal historian, or an official statement. That's because none of it happened. This is a genre now. Sometimes it's Diana. Sometimes it's Elvis or Michael Jackson or a long-lost royal secret. The formula is identical. Take a beloved deceased public figure, invent a dramatic twist involving their remains or their grave, and let curiosity and grief do the rest of the work. These videos are frequently produced with AI-generated narration and AI-written scripts, optimized purely to maximize watch time and ad revenue, not to inform anyone. And look at the comment sections. People are genuinely upset, genuinely confused. Some believe it. Some are angry that anyone would disturb her resting place. That emotional reaction, that's the product. It's not a side effect of the video. It's the entire business model, where Diana actually rests. So let's deal with the facts, because they're actually more interesting than the fiction. Princess Diana died on August 31st, 1997, following a car crash in Paris. She was buried on September 6th, 1997. Not in Westminster Abbey and not in a royal crypt, but at Althorpe, her family's ancestral estate in Northamptonshire, England, the home she grew up around as a Spencer. Her grave sits on a small island in an ornamental lake called a round oval within the estate's grounds. It was a deliberate choice by her brother, Charles Spencer, the 9th Earl Spencer, who wanted her to have privacy and protection from the kind of intense public and press attention that had surrounded her in life, and many believe contributed to the circumstances of her death. The island isn't accessible to visitors. There's no public tomb to walk up to, no headstone people can photograph up close. Instead, there's a memorial garden and an oval temple on the mainland side of the lake where people can pay their respects. That's part why these fake tomb opening videos work as clickbait. Most people have never seen the actual site, so a fabricated reveal feels plausible. Why the conspiracy culture around Diana exists. It's worth being honest about something else, too. Diana's death has attracted real conspiracy theories for almost 3 decades, and that history is part why fake content like this spreads so easily. The official investigations, both the French judicial inquiry completed in 1999 and the much larger British inquest, Operation Paget, concluded in 2008, found that the crash was caused by the driver, Henri Paul, who was found to have been under the influence of alcohol and driving at excessive speed while being pursued by photographers. The jury's verdict was unlawful killing due to the gross negligence of the driver and the following vehicles. That conclusion hasn't stopped decades of alternative theories, some more grounded than others, ranging from questions about paparazzi conduct to darker claims about state involvement. Because that atmosphere of doubt and unanswered questions has lingered around Diana's death for so long, it makes fertile ground for anyone selling a new hidden truth, whether it's about the crash or now, absurdly, about her grave being opened. Understanding that history helps explain why so many people are primed to believe a headline like, "They open her tomb." It slots into a decades-old narrative of secrecy and cover-up that already exists in public memory. Even though the specific claim has nothing behind it, it's tempting to treat this as harmless, just algorithm-chasing content, easy to ignore. But there's a real cost here. First, there's the disrespect to Diana's actual family, her sons, Princes William and Harry, and her surviving relatives, who have spent years trying to protect her memory and the privacy of her resting place, specifically because of the intrusion she experienced in life. Fabricating stories about her grave being disturbed isn't just tasteless. It mimics the exact kind of invasive attention that many believe hastened her death in the first place. Second, this genre of content trains audiences, especially people less familiar with how these platforms work, to accept sensational, unsourced claims about real people as plausible entertainment. Today it's a fake tomb opening. Tomorrow it's a fake quote, a fake scandal, a fake diagnosis about someone still alive. The pattern is the same. Dramatic claim, zero sourcing, designed for an emotional reaction instead of an informed one. And third, practically speaking, if you're watching these videos, you're not actually learning anything about Diana. You're spending 15 minutes on a story engineered to produce a feeling, not a fact. The real Diana, worth remembering. If you want something genuinely worth 15 minutes, here's where I'd point you instead. Diana, Princess of Wales, became one of the most effective humanitarian communicators of her generation. In an era when HIV and AIDS were still widely stigmatized and misunderstood, she was photographed shaking hands, without gloves, with patience, a small gesture that did more to challenge public fear and misinformation than most public health campaigns of the time. She campaigned against landmines, visiting active minefields in Angola and Bosnia in the final years of her life to draw global attention to civilian casualties, work that contributed momentum toward the international treaty banning anti-personnel mines. She supported causes involving homelessness, leprosy, and mental health at a time when royal patronage rarely touched those subjects directly, and she was, by most accounts of people who worked alongside her, personally engaged, not just a face at a ribbon cutting, but someone who returned to hospitals and shelters repeatedly, often without press notified in advance. That a more complicated, more human legacy than any fake secret discovery video could invent. She doesn't need a fabricated twist to be interesting. The real story already is. How to spot this content going forward. See, before we close, a few quick things to watch for, because this format isn't going away. It'll just find a new subject. 1. Vague, dramatic headlines with no named source. They found something shocking is not a claim, it's a hook. 2. No link to an actual news organization, historian, or official record. Real discoveries, archaeological, historical, medical, get covered by real outlets with named reporters. 3. An AI-sounding narrator with generic stock or AI-generated images, especially close-ups that look slightly off. Many of these videos are entirely machine-generated, script to voiceover to visuals. 4. Content specifically about a deceased public figure's remains, grave, or death. This is one of the most common templates for this kind of manufactured content, precisely because it triggers strong emotion and can't be fact-checked by the person it's about. Princess Diana died in 1997. She was buried once, on an island at Althorpe, and she has rested there undisturbed for nearly 3 decades. No tomb has been opened, no secret was found. The only thing actually being unearthed here is how easily a good story, a true one,